Welcome to Life Esteem, a program committed to delivering information that's important to you and your community.
Welcome again to Life Esteem. Always great to have you as a viewer. Hey, today we have Kelly Summerford, who's the publisher of ShowcaseNow magazine. It's a fantastic magazine that covers the arts, culture, heritage, tourism, and literacy here in central Pennsylvania. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. It's always a good time coming to your show.
I appreciate it. Now, last time you were on, you were not the publisher at that point, so you've been elevated.
I've been elevated, yes. I was the COO.
COO, okay. Now, you know, this is a great magazine. A lot of people may still not know about it in terms of all that it does. Tell us all about the magazine.
Well, we like to, first of all, we like to call ourselves the Good News magazine. We are the only arts, culture, heritage, and tourism literacy paper in 9 counties. What we try to do is get those that are underserved, and that's the area. We're not a regular newspaper. You will not hear about local news such as, you know, crime and those kinds of things. What we like to focus on is the arts. And like I said, we're in 9 counties. We have about 98,000 readers.
Wow.
And we're growing.
Fantastic.
The paper is about 6 years old now since we've owned it. The actual paper is 9 years old. And it started off as a local paper in New York. It was called Showcase PA. And when we took the paper, George Sheets and myself, we decided to change the name to ShowcaseNow and to broaden our audience to the 9 counties.
I understand this is a free newspaper too.
It is complimentary.
It's complimentary. It's not free.
Free typically has no value.
Yeah.
But it is complimentary, and you can get it at we have 300 different places that you can get ShowcaseNow. And we're in just about every library. I know we're in about 285 different libraries. So our online, you could also download it and go to our website. It's very active. Oftentimes we get 50,000 hits a month, you know, just for people wanting to know what's going on.
Well, talk about that. You know, you see what's going on. One of the things I notice is you definitely highlight various different events that will be taking place in Central PA.
Yes, and that's one of the things we love to do. If you have an event, we always ask the organizations or individuals to contact us. And if we have space, we only have 20 pages. I wish we could expand to 40 pages, but that depends on advertisement because we are solely supported on advertisement. If you have an event, we want you to contact us. We have a page called Date Book. And Date Book allows us to give a listing of all the events that are going on. Even if we don't have the space to do a feature, we could always put you in Date Book if you have an event. So I'm telling the two of you as well, because I know that you often have events going on. So always contact us, and you can do that through our website, ShowcaseNow.net, and we will include most everything if someone sends it in, unless it's just inappropriate. We don't advertise free beers or you know, all those kinds of things. But which brings me to the Music and Wine Festival that will be happening on June 11th and 12th at Fort Hunter. And that's sponsored by the county commissioners. And Showcase is also one of the sponsors of that.
Let me show the magazine. I don't know if we can, I'm just going to lift it up here so we can see this is I think actually the latest issue.
This is the latest issue. We have another issue coming out June the 27th.
And now I picked up this copy at a Midtown Scholar, but I've seen it at the Deer Street United Methodist Church and seen it all over.
We try to get it in many places as we can. Like I said, we're in 9 counties, so if you don't get a copy early, chances are, you know, they will run out. You're going to have to go online or sometimes contact the office, and we will let you know.
Talk about some of the kind of articles that are in here, even though, like you said, it's not local news in the sense of things that may be going around crime or other events that may be going on with traffic, problems or anything of that nature. So what kinds of things do people write about?
Well, we have regular columnists, and they usually take care of certain areas because we're in Adams County, we're in Lebanon County, Lancaster County, York, and they usually talk about the events that are happening there. Totem Pole has been a very good, not just advertisers, but we also like to call them partners. And I just helped give out the Totem Pole Awards, which they like to call it the Tony Awards for youth, for high schools. And it was an amazing event, amazing event. We have things like the Greek Festival that just happened over the last few weekends. Coming up on June, there are a lot of Juneteenth celebrations. And I did want to mention that we will have a delegation leaving from Harrisburg of living history figures. And you all are aware that I am William Goodrich most of the time. But we have a delegation going to Pittsburgh, and it's for the Martin Delany Festival. And for those who don't know who Martin Delany was, of course he was an abolitionist, a journalist, a physician. He was also the first African American accepted to Harvard's medical school.
Is that right?
Yes. And he lived during the time of between 1812 and 1885.
Fantastic.
But that celebration, we will have, I think there are going to be about 10 of us from Harrisburg that will be going to that. Yes, I will be dressed as William Goodrich. And those of you who have seen me in my regalia know that William Goodrich was a station master on the Underground Railroad, an entrepreneur in York, right there in the city of York. And I just wanted to mention about William Goodrich. The William Goodrich Freedom Center had their soft opening just recently.
Now you said Freedom Center?
Freedom Center, yes.
Where's
William
located?
Goodrich's home still stands.
Okay.
And it's probably the only home that the research that I've done where the person was born enslaved, he became an abolitionist, his home was used and as a safe house, and it still stands. I think you're going to find that.
Where's that located?
123 East Philadelphia Street in York, and it is open now. I think they will have, I think the house will be open. They have First Fridays, and many of the cities have First Fridays. Of course, we have Third and Burke here. But I am so happy about that because I also think that it will not just generate visitors to that area, but also visitors to the whole Civil War Trail, which would include Harrisburg and Lancaster, Chambersburg, and some of those other areas.
This is the kind of information you can find in the Showcase Now magazine.
Absolutely.
And, Kelly, give us some idea of, it comes out how often?
We have 6 issues a year.
6 issues a year, it's like every other month kind of thing?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
At the beginning of the year, we put our schedule out so that others will know. Get your event, send it to us, and certainly if we have the space, we will do it. We will definitely include it. But we like to say that our audience go see and do. If you want to fill your theater, then you should contact Showcase Now. And Totem Pole, because they have been such a good partner, and I think that they would vouch for us. That's what we do. We help fill theaters. We help people come to your exhibits. We help to move people across barriers.
Fantastic.
So we consider ourselves very unique. Very unique in what we do.
Someone out there is hearing about this magazine for the first time. They may say, well, I want to advertise in that magazine. Give us some idea of the rates that it would take to advertise.
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because we do have a special going on now. Our first time advertisers automatically get a 30% discount. We have advertising rates anywhere from $76, which is our enlarged business card, to 3,000.
Wow.
You know, so in anything in between. So you're talking about a quarter a page. It's just somewhere around $410.
Okay.
And usually you get editorial with it. So, you know, we try to give as much as we can with the space allowed.
Yeah.
But our rates, I think, are fairly reasonable. And like I said, if you're a first-time partner, we give you about 30% discount.
Very nice.
So that quarter of a page would cost you somewhere around $200.
Yeah.
So we're moving. We hope to expand because of the counties that we cover. And the only way we can expand is people would advertise. And I say that because we have many publications out and newspapers. And what makes us unique is that if you will go to a local newspaper, like we used to have, I'm not going to use any names or anything like that, your news that day. And Showcase Now, your news for 8 weeks.
Okay. Gotcha.
You know, the life expectancy of an issue is about 8 or 9 weeks.
That's good. That's
you
good.
know, because we have things that are relevant.
To almost 100,000 people.
And the coverage, you know, a lot of the regular newspapers only have time to cover those things that are interested in that are interesting or necessary in that community, such as crime, such as whether or not a street is going to be closed off. And as a former council person, we need those papers too.
That's right. Absolutely.
However, if you want to talk about arts, culture, heritage, excuse me, tourism or literacy, we're the paper.
Let me say this very quickly to our audience that Jay Bear, who is a local artist, will be coming up in just a minute or two. He's second part of this show. And we're so glad to have Kelly Summerford on because he's talking about the arts in totality. You cover all communities.
All communities, all arts.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Jay Bear is here because he could give us a call and let's see about doing a feature article on him.
That's right.
We do a whole lot of stuff with those who are shooting new films. And if they contact us, we usually try to give them a little bit of play too, because you know my background is in arts, and I've been a member of Screen Actors Guild for almost 40 years now.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And I've got to say this
been a long
also.
time.
You and your partner, Phyllis, put on a fantastic show every year.
Oh my goodness!
For,
The MLK show.
MLK
Oh, that was
Showcase.
awesome.
Man, oh man, at the Forum, right?
It's at the Forum every January on Martin Luther King's birthday. It's our celebration, and it's free. Or let's say complimentary to families. And we feel because of the mission of Martin Luther King that we would not charge. We need to have something that happens that day that a person could bring their whole family to and not have to pay. There are a lot of paid events happening that day, and that's not to discount them, but our event would be
it's fantastic.
free to families.
Yeah.
And dealing with 150 youth,
Oh my goodness.
that sometimes becomes challenging.
imagine.
Better
challenging.
you than me, man. Better you than me.
But you know, that's part of what Phyllis and I do. She also works with Showcase Now.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's one of our sales reps, and
good.
someone just talk about community of arts, you know. So we're trying to bring everybody in.
Okay, fantastic.
And we want to bring you in too. And if you will notice, in this issue, we also mention a person named Nate Gaston.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. In fact, I really was surprised and so grateful. I want to thank Linwood Sloan. It's in his section, I believe, right? And I looked in the paper. I just happened to pick the paper up because, you know, I picked the paper up. And there I am. I'm like, hey, all right. It's on page 11. And I appreciate that big time.
Yeah.
And we also have his picture in there.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
And we're one of the few that can do those kinds of things. So my last pitch, because I know you have another person coming on, is if you want to build your audience,
Showcase Now.
Go see and do.
All right, fantastic.
Go say and
Well,
do.
Jay Bear's coming on up, and
Yeah,
Kelly
thank you.
Summerford, thank you so much, man. Excellent
Oh,
work.
I love it.
Love your paper, and going to stay in touch with you. And this young man coming behind you, we're going to get him in the Showcase Now. His name is Jay Bear, and Jay is a local artist. He's a singer. I call him a singer, but he'll give us a better definition of all that he does. And we actually had Jay on, I think, about maybe 2 years ago, and he had put out, I think, his first CD. And now he has a CD that's coming out, and he's doing some good stuff. And, you know, so we're good. Yes, indeed. Okay. All right, Pat's busy taking care of business there. Jay, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
All right, so
Yes.
good. I know you heard Kelly Summerford over there talking about the paper and everything.
Yes, that's
And
wonderful.
So, yeah, hopefully. So let me see a copy of the
Yes,
CD there.
this is the
man.
new project here.
Good
Yep.
picture.
Yeah, The
Oh,
Pursuit
wow.
of Happiness. Thank you.
Yeah.
Taken by my brother, good man Rob Golden.
Okay.
Took the
Yes,
photo
okay.
for the
Very good.
album. Yes.
Yeah, so is this your second project?
Yes, this is the second solo album that we
Okay.
released. The first one came out in 2013, which was called Dare to Be Different. So
Dare
this is
to
the
Be Different.
follow-up project to that.
Okay. And tell us about your, you know, it's called The Pursuit of Happiness. So tell us about the concept itself.
Well, the concept originally was inspired by the movie, slightly different spelling. They used the Y in there
Yeah.
in the movie with Will Smith. But just his story and overcoming adversity and the different obstacles, that was the initial inspiration because I felt like it was so closely reminded myself of my life and things that I was going through. So then it evolved into just this journey of finding happiness and peace and understanding that within this album, by the time you get to the end of the album, you realize that you're searching for something that you already have that's already in you. You know, like success is a choice, they say. I believe happiness is a choice as well. So it's like we already have it in us. It's, you know, it's there when we're born, it's happiness, and we let other things distract us. So it's about just finding peace of mind and living, you know, a happy life and just enjoying yourself. But it's a journey though. You know, everybody reaches their journey and their destination at different times. So.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I like it very much.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to ask, man. Now, you know, you're a relatively young guy, but I heard you use the word album. And I'm like, wait,
Yeah. A little throwback term, but you know, I work in a music store, so that's, you know,
Okay.
force of habit
Yeah,
is just referring to a full body of work as
That's
an
right,
album.
that's
You know,
right.
even though they typically don't press up too many albums anymore, CDs are now iTunes and things of that nature.
Sure,
But just the full LP is.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that you have a parental advisory here.
Yes, sir.
so,
Yes, sir.
okay.
There's some. I guess what they would technically call adult content.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not the type of artist that gets too outside of myself as far as things of that nature. You know, I wrote the song Gunshot Blast addressing the gun violence in the community. That was on the first album.
Yeah.
On this album, I mean, you got topics ranging from love. I typically talk about love over lust. I see a lot of times in hip hop, the focus is on lust.
That's right.
Yeah.
And,
That's right.
you know, I don't think as artists enough we talk about love. I mean, obviously we've all experienced love of some form in our life, whether it's love for our parents, love for our children, or even being in love with a man or a woman. So I think that topic isn't discussed enough. So there's quite a few songs on there that address love and heartbreak and just relationships. But then you also have things on there that address police brutality, which has been
Okay.
prevalent in our society, well, really for many years, but it's been highlighted in recent times
Yes.
with all this going on. So that's a song that I wrote called Mind of the Police, which is addressing that topic with a gentleman by the name of Jasiri X, who's out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yeah, and Julia Mallory, who's a poet and a spoken word artist.
Julie's on here?
Oh man, she had the best verse on the entire album.
Now,
And
I'm going
it's
to get on her.
fantastic.
She didn't even give me a hint that she was on
Oh
the Get out of
yeah,
here.
she
That's
did an
fantastic.
amazing job. So we're gonna be performing that song live here
That's
at some point soon.
wonderful,
But yeah,
yeah.
she
One of
she
my-
came through, did it.
One of my
Excellent.
favorite poets.
Excellent poet,
That's
fantastic.
great.
So she did a wonderful job on that. So
Good
it was an
stuff.
honor to work with those two.
Honored to know that she's doing something like that.
Yes,
That's good
yes.
stuff.
Now, do you prefer calling Jay? You like people to
Yeah,
refer to
Jay
you?
is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Jay is fine.
One of the things I'd like to ask you, based on some of the things you shared in regard to music having a message, being able to talk about yourself in pursuit of your own goals, dreams,
Right.
happiness, as you said.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you first move in that particular direction? Was it because of the movie or something else that occurred or happened in your own life?
Well, I would say before the movie, I had already started moving in that direction as far as, I think each artist, particularly with hip hop, but I would say all artists, it's a process to really truly find yourself
Yeah.
and be able to find your voice as an artist. I would say it's probably the same with spoken word and poetry as well.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you emulate what's out there early on and then you find your voice and you say, I want to speak to what's true to me and tell my story, you know,
Yes.
and because I feel like if you tell your story, billions of people in the world. Someone's going to relate. Someone's going to grab and say, man, I know what that guy's talking about. I know what that lady's talking about. I can feel where they're coming from. That honesty. And I think seeing the movie and how it made me feel, to realize that, you know what, I can talk about the times where I didn't have a place to stay. I can talk about the times where I didn't have anything to eat, and someone is going to understand and they're going to relate to it, and they need to hear it right now to get through what they're going through, or they need to be reminded, man, this is the journey that I've been through, and I was here and now I'm here, you know. So I think it just helped me move forward, you know, along the path that I was already on. They said, you know what, you're on the right path, just keep going. Because I feel like we have a responsibility as artists, and when that's a broad term, but I think whether you're a singer, you're a rapper, you're a poet, you're a painter, you're a movie maker, a filmmaker, I just think you have an obligation to speak on certain issues. I believe you have an obligation to speak from an honest place, even if you're telling stories, and to touch on certain topics. It can't just all be fluff. It can't be, you know, because that's not reality. Most of us aren't living, particularly in hip hop. I'm really, you know, I'm critical on my particular genre and culture. I think a lot of times it's so much fluff. It's so much, you know, it's partying and champagne, it's women, but that's not reality. You know, most people don't wake up thinking about killing someone, you know, and I think that a lot of times the bad gets highlighted, but there's so many great artists doing wonderful things and talking about social issues and trying to make social change and talking about things that's really relatable to the community. So that's really what, you know, the music that I put out is.
Well, I want to get you down to the Writers Workshop and let you feature for us one night.
Would love to.
Love to have that happen.
Would love to come
you
down.
know, for those persons who don't know, the Workshop meets on Friday nights. There at the Midtown Scholar Bookstore every Friday night except the third Friday of the month. We always have to say that because that's third in the burg. But any other Friday night from 7 until 9, there at the Midtown Scholar, which is located at 3rd and Verbeck Streets, and it's a free and open venue to you know, artists. And we always call it the Word Shop because it's not just about poetry, it's about the word, spoken word and written word.
Absolutely.
And man, we'd love to have you come down and do that. In fact, we're just going to make that happen. You know?
We should, definitely.
All right, yes indeed. Good.
I love to be down there with so many talented spoken word artists. They always challenge me. Like when she came through, like I said, I tell her all the time, and she's so humble.
She being Julia, right?
Julia Valerie. I said, Julia, you have the best verse on the entire album. I said, and myself included, because there's other features on there. But it's so powerful. When every time I hear it, even now, it gives me chills. You know, and I was just like, she spoke from such an honest point as a mother, as a black mother as well, particularly on that topic, that has children, that has boys, and it's like, you know, I just felt like, man, this is what people need to hear. Your voice is so important for this album. You know, you're going to touch a different audience in a sense, because I'm a young black male, but I think that hearing that voice from a woman on that album, I think it just reaches so many more people, I believe, her perspective. So, yeah, I just think fantastic.
What other venues, Jay, have you been able to access in regard to your work?
Locally, you know, I performed at a few venues down here, downtown in Kyoto's. I used to do a live show each year with about a 7-piece band led by Terrence Webb and Jerry McDonald. They were my band leaders. So the band's Due Process and the Loud Pack, we perform with about 3 background singers. It's a nice show. There's really nothing like it from a hip hop standpoint here that I've seen an artist do. So we do that every year. It's called J Bear Unplugged. That's featured, like I said, about 7 different musicians, drummers, keyboard players, etc. We got the full band. Kia Wilson and Melissa Wilson, who's Diane Wilson's daughter. They usually sing background for me as well. And Alonda Rich, who's another talented artist, sings as well on vocals. But yeah, we do that every year. And the cool thing about that is, it's not just hip hop. We implement some funk, some jazz, some R&B, some old soul music. We do covers and things of that nature. So it's kind of something for everyone. You'll see grandparents there all the way down to kids that are in college. So it's a nice mix. It's a comfortable vibe. So we do that down there. The PM Bistro is where I had the release party for this album. Yes, so that was nice. And a few other venues in the area and throughout the state. But I mostly try to do a lot of my big shows, or unique shows, I should say, here in the area. You know, I feel like this is home, and I feel like the people at home deserve a good show as well. So I try to make sure that we give them a good show.
Fantastic. Let me just say this, you know, Pat and I represent Imani African Christian Church, and we're located over there at 1508 Derry Street in Harrisburg. We're actually in the lower level of Derry Street United Methodist Church. Again, that's 1508 Derry. And we see ourselves as the Church of the Arts. And so we've been encouraging, you know, poets and writers, you know, and others come in. So Jay Bear, we're going to talk with you, brother. We want to see you bring a show to the church.
I would love
because we believe there shouldn't be a separation of church and art, right?
I agree.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to, you know, like again, set this up, make this happen, and we'd love for you to encourage other artists to come our way.
Yes.
We'd love to be able to support them and to show them that we, you know, that we get it. And what we get is that God gives us gifts, and we ought to use those gifts for the better good of humanity.
I agree.
And that's what this is all about. So, man, this is good stuff. Good
Yes,
stuff.
I would love to do that.
Are you born and raised here in Harrisburg?
Yes, born and raised.
Okay.
Born and raised. This is home. I moved away several times through, you know, throughout my younger days. As far as I lived in California, lived in the Midwest, in Missouri for a little while. Just, you know, living life and you know while I can and trying new things. So I do miss that California weather. Although now it's starting to heat up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Beautiful. You know, out there we were playing basketball outside around Thanksgiving. So that's
nice.
definitely a no-go here. But yeah,
Did you play basketball in school?
I did once upon a time when my knees were a little better. You know, it takes a toll on your body after a while now. So, but yeah, I enjoy, you know, traveling a little bit. I had the opportunity to do some traveling as far as with Brother Rob Golden. I believe he's been on the show as well. We traveled, did Grand Canyon and part of his Go West program. Actually, I was one of the guys that came up through that. So we did all that and traveled across country, Yellowstone National Park, Yosemite, Mount Rushmore. So I've been fortunate enough to be a guy from, you know, the inner city, as they say, Harrisburg, PA, but I've been able to see a lot of the country and blessed to see things that a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to.
Sure. Now, a lot of people want to do what you're doing. They want to be able to put out a you know, powerful CD and, you know, do it, but there's a process. Just real quick, I know we don't have a lot of time, but what is the process of getting something like this done?
Wow, the process of actually getting something like this done, I would say start out by just doing it. You have to get into it as far as writing. Now, the process to get this done, I went through a manufacturer to get this done. This is all that they do, is press CDs up. But it's the writing process, then it will be followed by the recording process. So you have to find your good studio that you're comfortable with. That could be different for different people.
What studio did you go with?
I went with a PTP studio and the Green Room were the main two studios that I used.
Yes, I was hoping to say the Green Room. Yeah, shout out to the Green Room.
Yes, sir. Derek, he's a good guy. And he actually mastered the album, which is another process, a little more involved to explain, but that's another one of the process. After recording, there's mixing and mastering. So, and then there's the manufacturing of the album.
Well, look, we're down to less than a minute, man. So give us real quick, if someone wants to get in touch with you, how could they do that?
Yes, they can just go to jbearmusic.com. You can find me there, JBAIRMUSIC.com, jbearmusic.com. All my information is there. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. So.
Jay Bear Music. He said he's going to have me as his backup singer in the next one. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. But anyhow, I'm so glad to have Jay Bear on, and hope that you will continue to, you know, support the artists. They are doing tremendous work and helping us to, you know, be connected and stay entertained. Thank you so much for watching this show. We love to have you as a viewer, as always, here on Life Esteem. We'll see you next time on Life Esteem. Goodbye.
Thank you.